We're now going to cover confidentiality, safeguarding, and how that affects you as a volunteer. The feed is committed to providing a confidential service to all its users and believes the principles of confidentiality must be integrated across all aspects of the organisation. The feed believes that the users of its services, staff and volunteers deserve the right to confidentiality to protect their interests and to safeguard the organisation. How does this affect you? What do we ask of you? Well, we ask you to avoid exchanging information, personal information or comments, such as gossip, about individuals with whom they have a professional relationship. So that could be somebody that comes into the social supermarket that you serve as a customer, or in our cafes. It could be somebody that we support in one of our support projects. Please avoid talking about organisations that we partner with or work with, or individuals in social settings too. And please do not disclose to anyone other than the line manager any information considered sensitive, personal, financial or private. Names or identifying information must remain confidential within the feed. So when can confidentiality be breached? Well, confidentiality can be broken if there is a safeguarding concern. Volunteers are able to share information with their line manager in order to raise safeguarding issues and seek advice. Safeguarding may be a word you've heard before, or it may be new to you. You may wonder what it is, so we'll run through that now. Safeguarding is a term we use to describe how we protect children and vulnerable adults from abuse or neglect. Safeguarding vulnerable adults includes protecting their rights to live in safety, free from abuse and neglect, people and organisations working together to prevent the risk of abuse or neglect and to stop them from happening, and making sure people's well-being is promoted, taking their views, wishes, feelings and beliefs into account. So who are vulnerable adults? Well, an adult at risk is actually a legal definition. It's a person aged 18 years or over who is or may be unable to take care of themselves or unable to protect themselves against significant harm or exploitation. Within the feed, many of our service users are vulnerable adults. Vulnerable adults may be facing one or more of the following types of abuse: physical, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, emotional or psychological, financial or material abuse, modern slavery, discrimination, organisational or institutional abuse, neglect or acts of omission, or self-neglect. So what do you do if you have safeguarding concerns? As an approachable volunteer, a service user may disclose information to you, or you may notice signs of abuse. If someone has indicated they're going to hurt themselves or somebody else, pass it on. All matters of safeguarding concerns should be raised with a line manager or member of staff, who will escalate this according to the feed's processes. However, if you or a service user or anyone else is in immediate danger, you should call the relevant emergency service. What we've done here is lay out a little guide of how and when you should say something. We've presented this as traffic lights, but just remember, if in doubt, it's always better to say something. It may be something we're already aware of and don't need to progress further. However, as a volunteer, you may be the person that's seen something, and this makes a massive difference. So how we'd position this is to say, if there's an immediate threat to life or limb, tell a member of staff immediately. You don't want to wait to do this. For example, if somebody had walked into a cafe with a machine gun, you don't want to wait until they've left to raise the alarm or to report the safeguarding concern. Amber is if somebody suggested there is an imminent threat to life or limb. That's where you would also tell a member of staff, ideally while that person's still in the venue. For example, If somebody suggested they're going to go and get a machine gun and bring it back to our cafe, you don't want to wait till they've left, you want to tell a member of staff straight away. Then green is a bit more of your own curiosity or something you might have witnessed yourself, a thought, a concern. So if you think there could be a threat to someone's life or limb at some point, tell a member of staff before you finish your shift. Just remember, if in doubt, it's always better to say something. Of course, we will support you as well. Seeing some of these challenging situations and having to report safeguarding concerns can be quite impactful, so we understand that. As an organisation, we have a good culture of what we call reflective practice, which gives you the opportunity to talk through the concerns you might have and what you've experienced. Part of that may be through a debrief at the end of a shift, where we get together and talk about it. It may be through our WhatsApp group that you want to get in touch with the volunteer coordinator to have a chat. It may be that we give you a check-in or some supervision by reaching out to you if we've heard that there's been a challenging situation. And of course, we'll always provide you ongoing training. That might just be some confidence to know that you dealt with the situation correctly. You can reach out to us at any time for support while you're volunteering with us.